Hi, my name is Juan Carlos Marcillo. In this opportunity, I am going to talk about a topic called Economics in the Age of Big Data. This paper was written by Liran Einab and Jonathan Levin in 2004. This oral presentation has 8 sections. The first 3 sections talk about the background, advances, and outlook of the age of big data. The next 4 sections talk about the role of big data in empirical economics, public sector data, private sector data, and the econometrics. And we finish with some conclusions. As a background, we can say that economic science has evolved over several decades toward greater emphasis on empirical work. This data revolution has a profound effect on economic research. And economists make use of newly available large-scale administrative data or private sector data. This change gives rise to new opportunities and challenges. It's important to mention that these new data are affecting economic research. Many fields have shifted from a reliance on relatively small sample to universal or near universal population coverage. This shift is transformative as it allows researchers to do a sharper test of theories that had previously difficult to assess. In this plot, we show the percentage of papers published in the American Economic Review that obtained an exception from the IER's data availability policy, and we note that in 2006 there were not exemptions in the data availability policies, and in 2014 the 46% of papers obtained exemptions on the data. In this section, we are going to review some interesting aspects about using this new data. The first aspect is about economic effects and outcomes. In the past, these approaches were theoretical with little data, but actually, big data permit be more specific. That is to say, it is possible to research aspects in detail. By other side, several years ago, data limitation only permit researches about general aspects of economic activities, but actually it's easy to study a broader range of economic activities. About econometrics techniques, this new data must be accompanied of new statistical methods to access and explore data in ways that even respect privacy and confidential concerns. Other challenges include developing the appropriate data management and programming capabilities, as well as designing creative and scalable approaches to summarize, describe, and analyze large-scale and relative unstructured datasets. One of the benefits of this new data is the rise of empirical economics. Until middle 80s, the majority of papers were theoretical, based on data from government statistics or surveys. Since then, the share of empirical papers in top journals has climbed to more than 70%. Nowadays, the situation is very different than middle 80s. Modern datasets are available in real time. Now it's possible to work with unmeasured activities. For instance, much of the data now being recorded is on activities that were previously difficult to quantify. But some problem is that new datasets often have higher dimensionality and less clear structure. Big data has improved public sector data too. In the past, due to the cost that implies enterprise census, governments only research on surveys. The consequence is that we have missing data, and it precludes natural quasi-experimental research designs. With the new data, it's possible to analyze population variation using administrative data for causal inference and policy evaluation. Another benefit is that time series become more homogeneous. Big data also contributes to the private sector data. It helps to create statistics on aggregate economic activity that can be used to track the economic or as input to other research. And it's possible to look inside specific firms or markets to study employee or consumer behavior or the operation of different industries. In the chart, it is showed a MIT project called BPP, Billion Price Project. Dashed red line is the monthly index of the USA's. With this project, it is possible to have a daily price index because actually enterprises take decisions on the daily information. In this section, it is presented the new role of the econometrics with this new data. Economics models based mainly on few variables. But what variable is the most important? Estimated models usually focus on few coefficients of interest. Look for these more important variables require introduce new techniques for estimate econometric models. These new techniques will include data mining, regression trees, lasso and methods to estimate sparse models, boosting, model averaging, cross-validation models, and naturally, economic theory and machine learning become important too. To finish, it's important to note that big data is not a substitute for common sense, economic theory, or the need for careful research designs. New data may change the way economists approach empirical research as well as the statistical tools they employ. That's all. Thank you.